Alright. Making another live video. I've been chilling for a few minutes. Listening to some music. Crying like a little bitch. You know. One thing I'm absolutely not okay with is somebody being prevented from going to court due to incarceration. What Wilnez is claiming on his YouTube channel and what he's telling other people. Yeah, I absolutely got to be afraid for my life here. But I've known that since I got here. I know that everywhere I go. I know it's on the internet. I also know the massive quantity of evidence that's not seen and not heard. There's a lot of people here in Tillamook who have been very kind to me. A lot of people use the word nice. Nice doesn't mean what you think it means. Your grandma's nice, right? She makes you cookies. Used car salesman is also nice. Meanwhile, would you rather buy a car from a used car salesman or eat one of your grandma's cookies? I'm not angry about people posting up on the internet. I'm angry about the fact that those people were lied to and nobody seems to care. The ones that do, their hands are tied. Well, there's Chris Stafford. He hasn't messaged me or messed with me or anything in a good long while. Thank goodness it became an unsafe situation with him. One of the other folks at Safeway knew him and told him just to leave me alone, I guess. hopefully nicely. I'm not naturally an asshole. You have to back me into a corner to make me an asshole. It's nice playing like you're stoic, like nothing phases you, like you're a Vulcan. It's nice to play conscientious objector. But are you really going to be a conscientious objector when somebody's pointing a gun at your head, your children's head, your wife's head? How about your sisters or your mothers? How about your niece, your nephew? I did not get the luxury of growing up under a rock. God damn it. What the fuck can I blow my nose on? I cry too goddamn much. That's for sure. I went a lot of years not crying about shit. A lot of years. Right now, I'm basically just wasting battery. When I try to explain to people what the legal route is supposed to be and what help I need, a lot of times people do offer up the help I need, but they don't help with the important part. Listening. See, there's a lot of people who can verify little bits and pieces of what I've gone through. But to show it all, I mean, most of the evidence I have is not online. It takes too long to try to download it. Getting a place where I can literally sit down with my computer for 11 to 14 hours so I can download a 30 to 45 minute recording, get it all formatted and get it put on YouTube. And I barely know how to do that. I have been able to do some of that stuff sort of with my phone, only with help. The more I do something, the more I'm able to do it because I start to develop a memory of it. But when you're overwhelmed, you might need to do something 5 or 6 times, whereas if you were under good conditions, you'd probably only need to do it once. Now, on Andrew Wolnez's channel, he said an officer stopped him a couple days ago, or a few days ago, I guess now. And the officer asked Wolnez why it was I wasn't dead. Basically. There's also the fact that Joseph Michael Lopez killed Natalie Marie Bollinger. was December 28th, 2017. And Natalie Bollinger was wearing a black hoodie, black shirt, black pants, black shoes, mismatched socks. Joseph Michael Lopez shot her through the head with her boyfriend's 9mm Glock 19. It's 6 to 15 inches away from her head while she was on her knees at McIntosh Dairy outside of Thornton, Colorado, just off of Riverdale Road. I've been there twice since she was killed. Both times to pay my respects. I've recorded the police time and again saying about mentally disabled people out here who were harmed. People who were physically harmed, that they deserved it. No, they didn't. They didn't deserve it. They did not deserve to be let go to the point that they were so mentally gone that they were harming people physically. And as we all know, predators like to pick somebody that they don't think will fight back. People who are alone, that no one will believe. You just call them mentally ill and pretend they don't exist. People don't understand how important it is to turn this stuff in right away with the victim for their safety. It's also important to know the word games that are played by these people. They'll change just one or two of your words, and magically it makes it okay for them to do nothing in their own minds. You got to hear examples of that laziness the first time through. Also, there have been very rare occasions where I was able to find a location to download one of my audio recordings. And there have been times when it was such an emergency to do so. The people who cared said, you know what, this one time I'm going to let you. Or I'd spent the last of what I had to have someplace to try. You never know what your education is going to come to. For me, I learned how to do a lot of things out in nature. I always wanted to make myself a Viking boat off in the woods, the old-fashioned way. And I actually learned how to do every little bit of that, with the exception of I've never put all the pieces together. Like I've done each individual type of woodworking. I've just never made a keel of a boat. I've never made the clinker built style of boat. I've never built a Viking boat. I've studied them a lot because I'm really interested in that stuff. Also, how did they come up with the kerosene and the paraffin and a lot of that kind of stuff? How were they able to tell which rock would bear the most iron? Which ones for fortifications were going to be the strongest? How they'd pick a location for something like that? There's a lot of stuff I learned about old fortifications, like the Roman marching fort. They'd build it every night and then they'd take it down every morning. Now, I've also literally made my own rosin, which is what's used to make a bow so you can play it. Matter of fact, I have an aluminum can in my car right now made out of it. It's got homemade rosin in it for like a violin bow. But also, I've done tree cutting. I've also done stump removal. There's a lot of stuff that I've done in my lifetime that's ended up being a lot of manual labor for absolutely nothing. I grew up in the 80s where we were taught to love the planet and recycle and all that bullshit. Whatever became of that? Well, there was lots of people with good ideas, just they didn't have a place to do it.
Incoming call. 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 Power off.
Well, there we go. Someone calling themselves Elon typed, you should focus on something new and creative. You know what? This actually is new and creative. Doing my best to be completely honest and completely transparent and showing why that doesn't work. Popularity wins seems to be the general rule of the day. Just give the people what they want. Elon typed, you sound like you're a creative chap, folks. On building something, why stop acting that way? Oh, there's Chris Stafford leaving. And again, he didn't start any problems with me. He didn't curse at me. He didn't yell at me. He didn't throw anything through my window. I'm thankful for that. I'm also thankful for the gentleman who got him to stop. I'm thankful to the people who talked to Ashley and got her to stop. I'm thankful for Ashley coming and letting me know about the situation with Andrew and Camp and him trying to start a fight with Nick over it. You know, by that point, Ashley didn't want to mess with me. She didn't want nothing to do with me. She just wanted to be left alone herself. And I'm thankful that with everything that he's put me through, and even with her being angry, that she came up and let me know about the situation. Him trying to get people on his side in court, that is completely allowed. He's not allowed to threaten people, especially with bodily harm. What people have to be afraid of the most with me is that I'll tell the truth before they do. A lot of people promise me that they're going to help me to turn something in that they're well aware of. They've seen it with their own two eyes. They've heard it with their own two ears. I've wasted a lot of resources on empty promises that ended up being a sandwich here or there. And I'm not ungrateful at all for the sandwiches. Some days here I don't have hardly anything to eat. And some days here, people give me so much food that I can't possibly eat it all. And then I end up with like 5 or 6 different food cartons in my car full. Hopefully I can throw them away before they get buried by stuff that I have to sort through to try to go to court. Or the things that it takes to prevent me from freezing to death at night. You also get to hear on this channel how a lot of these people are heroic in their own little bit and piece, in their own way. They're not trying to harm anyone, and neither am I. A lot of people have tried to talk me into getting mace, bear mace, and pepper spray, and a taser. Well, I got all those things. Do you feel better now? Because I don't. Just because I have them doesn't mean that I have the ability to use them. If somebody's going to harm me, they're going to harm me. Say you should pray for your enemy before yourself, right? Pray that they not be your enemy. I really do. I may not believe in your deity, but I do believe in kindness and the power of it. I also understand there's a lot of people with a lot of hidden agendas and a lot of hatred pent up, who are just hoping they can find somebody they can take it out on, that no one's going to care if they do it. I got survivors of domestic abuse in this town that when I tell them I don't want them to go to prison, but that might be the only alternative. That might be legally what they have to do, is lock him up and put him in prison. I don't know how many times you're allowed to hit somebody before they're allowed to hit you back, but Walton has hit me a lot more than that. And I still did not hit him back. I'm not a violent person. I'm a very scared person. And it's not okay to do something like this to someone and then throw them. Here's somebody no one cares about. Then, of course, there's the happy vibe people. You know the ones. Hey, man, give it to the universe, man. Love and light, peace, Jerry Garcia, bro. Yeah, that's not fixing shit. That doesn't stop abuse. You want to stop this crap, you show up in court in force. And I don't mean force of arms. I mean force of voice and force of document. Force of evidence. Both sides should be seen. Both sides should be heard. Depriving somebody of all of their rights, including the right to face their accuser, the right to show evidence, right to an impartial jury, right to effective counsel, it all depends on whether or not a friend or family member listens or not. And we got somebody on here who really likes to type, really likes attention. So we'll give them their attention. I'll go all the way up to the top and we'll start reading what they typed. Elon typed, you should focus on something new and creative. You sound like you're a creative chap. Focus on building something. Why? Stop acting that way. Stop focusing on the negative and apply your creative mind. Oh my God, dude, I have been, first of all, second of all, and third of all. But you go ahead and keep projecting your opinion. We'll read some more of this. It says, it's been YRS. The only way to avoid making mistakes is to avoid new ideas. Well, thank goodness I'm open to new ideas. Of course, lots of people after 5 minutes think they've just thought of a new idea that I've never thought of before. And it's something that I've tried dozens of times alone. And I say I need someone to do it with me. You know, I tell them exactly what it is. It says, that came out awkward. You could sell your art and hell, you stop with the negativity and would have. Well, here's the thing with the art. I drew a lot of pictures. People pay their babysitter before their artist. They pay their plumber before their artist. They rent before their artist. They pay for Christmas cards, business cards, fixing the roof, car payments. These all come before an artist. There's also the damage from Officer Waylon Lolatai, which makes it very difficult for me to draw. I have, to some degree, practice with my left hand. It just feels weird. As far as the negativity, you know what? You call it negativity all you want. I'm telling you the truth. If you don't want to hear the truth, that bums you out, that brings you down, good. It should. If you can't handle it, you can leave. If your sister is raped, are you going to help turn in the rapist? Or are you going to tell her to stop with the negativity? While you're telling her to stop with the negativity and she's being raped over and over and over again, are you just going to continue to tell her to stop with the negativity until, well, you go ahead and use your imagination. It's not something that I want to do in that scenario. But sure, stop the negativity. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. What's more negative? People assaulting me or me speaking up about it? See? Not a tough question. What's worse? Natalie getting a bullet through the skull or me cursing? You goddamn right I was willing to curse. And all you cared about was that I was cursing at that point. I shouldn't have never had to get to that. I started off as a reasonable human being and nobody wanted to listen, and it got worse and worse and worse. Let's see, Elon typed, instead of all this negativity, change up your same routine for even one day. Say this person thinks that they have the cure for everything. It don't work that way. It's nice to believe that you can just tell people to do stuff and magically it's to fix it, right? Well, it doesn't. Hearing their story to understand is what's important. When you're in here typing on something like this, what you're doing is you're detracting from the victim's ability to speak up, for them to focus on something that is very important, something that needs to be heard. As far as taking a day out, I don't get to take a day out. As far as routine goes, routine is pretty important for somebody who's autistic. The thing is, I've been victimized into a very small bubble, and now I'm being victimized out of that. I've been victimized out of my money, and then people say that I chose it, that I wanted it, and that is not the case. Everybody got this idea in their head of how it is for others, how somebody else is living, what they should be doing with their life. You should be this, you should be that. And some of those questions are very valid, just not for the topic at hand. Elon typed, take out your paper pencils, sit on the corner and draw. See, now there's somebody who just got all sorts of ideas. By the way, I did that in Chapel, and I did that in Boulder too. I literally sat on the corner and drew pictures. No joke. I didn't make shit. Elon typed, did you block me? I guess you blocked me. I don't know why. You refused to let me say one thing, or you refused to let anyone say anything. Well, that's the problem here, is that everybody thinks it's their turn to speak. That means, number one, you're not taking my situation seriously, and number two, you refuse to recognize me as somebody who can be victimized. In a lot of situations, it doesn't matter what you want to say because you don't know enough about the situation to make suggestions, and that's not me trying to be a dick. At all. And of course, one of the ways that people bully somebody, now some of them are very, very outright and mean, like when you scream and yell and shout at somebody that they need to leave town, or you're gonna this, or you're gonna that. Sometimes they do it by politely suggesting it 5, 6, 7, even 8 times in a row. Enough times that you just get sick of trying to get past that barrier. They've already decided, and they're not going to let you speak any further on that topic. They've already decided. This is one of the ways that mandated reporters prevent themselves from hearing anything that they literally have to report. That and talking over the victim or shipping them to a different line. You ever tried to turn one of those people in? God, that's damn near impossible. Taking abuse from people like this everywhere I go. That's not something anybody should have to go through. And having to fight so hard to be heard, that sucks too. I gotta try to find an external battery so that my phone doesn't die because I am recording a little bit past when I should have. I should have stopped recording when it told me I had 15% battery. Anyway, there's a lot of important details, and one of the important things when somebody's just been victimized or it's long-term and ongoing, they're going to have post-traumatic stress disorder. That's really tough to get past. And then you know how people are here in America, so you have to be afraid to speak up, especially publicly. Especially if you're a male, especially if you're broke, especially if you're homeless, especially if your predator calls you mentally ill. Because it means they're going to try to discredit you and make it a situation where your words are not going to be heard. Elon typed, change up your routine, nor is what you've been doing for how many years. Well, you should actually take a look at what I've been doing for all those years. I've been collecting evidence and showing it. Fighting hard to get heard. Anyway, this person eventually turns out to be Elon typed at the bottom. My computer clicked off, so I missed the little OV, what you typed. Well, you typed a whole bunch of really rude stuff and a bunch of assumptive stuff and a bunch of Shawn should this and Shawn should that stuff, so I explained how harmful that is. Anyway, you know how we end these videos. Good to be rid of you. Thank you for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's keeper too, and no victim left behind.